Well, we have been so excited to bring you this month. You're joining us for the next instalment of our digitisation of the Landlord Lifecycle themed video month, which we are producing in association with our friends and partners at Lendlord. And throughout this month, we are digitising the landlord life cycle, as the title says. But what we're doing is really showing you all the different aspects of landlord life that can be undertaken in a digital format. And for this instalment, I'm joined again by Aviram, who is the CEO and co-founder of Lendlord. And Aviram, we're still in the pre-acquisition stage, which is when the landlord is doing all their due diligence before actually getting started in property investment. And I think, due diligence is such a key word, and it's such a key skill for landlords to have. And now more than ever before, I think, because we both agree that COVID-19 has significantly increased the risks, and landlords need to become extremely good researchers of every aspect of landlord life. And you need to undertake due diligence on any entity that you are entering into some kind of commercial arrangement with, whether that be a property, a tenant, a letting agent, a builder. You've got to do your due diligence. And we're still going to be talking about the Landlord Deal Analyzer today, and we're actually looking at the due diligence aspect of the analyzer. And Aviram, digital tools really come into their own for due diligence, don't they? Because through the use of APIs, they can access so much data and intelligence and insights. So that's what we're going to look at today, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I think that the due diligence of the property and the use of the area is part of the analysis process. So in a previous video, we discussed how you analyze the numbers, how you understand the return for the short term and from the long term. But there is another side of the deal, and this is the data that you can get from the historical performance of the area and the existing, let's say, demand, demographics, and this will allow you to put the right numbers when you analyze the deal, and also expecting important things like a property appreciation, vacancy, rental appreciation, etc. So it's very important phase in the pre-acquisition to do the due diligence on the area and on the property itself.
Yes, so we looked yesterday at the actual deal analysis of the numbers of the deal. So now we're going to look at the due diligence part of the Landlord Deal Analyzer. And Aviram, again, I think it's really good to remind people that we recommend the blending of technology with people as well. So for instance, one of the things that we're going to be looking at, and which all landlords must undertake when they're assessing a deal, is rental and sales comparables. And we're going to demonstrate now how Lendlord can bring in some data in this regards. But we would always also say, Aviram, do speak to local agents or use other digital tools, for instance, like our partners at Zeus, who have a digital tool to get sales and rental comparables. These are all good metrics to have. And what I would always recommend is just to come up with, get a few different inputs and then just create an average of them and perhaps use that. So that's just a little tip of how to get the most out of the software. So Aviram, you're going to show us around the due diligence aspect or the due diligence module, if you like, of the Landlord Deal Analyzer.
In the last video, we discussed how you can analyze the numbers and understand the return for the short term and for the long term. Today, we will focus how you get the right information to put the correct numbers or, more accurate estimations. So after you put the property address, the first information that you will see is some data that we extract about the property. And it will include the property type, the current EPC level of this property, And this comes with a link directly to the government website to get more information about the current energy performance of this property.
And I just want to say, Aviram, that's an extremely important thing to be aware of, the EPC rating of the property, because there is a definite direction of travel by the government that there's going to be limitations on letting properties below a C EPC rating. So if your property is A, B, or C, it's kind of future-proofed for letting in the future. But then also, if it's a DE further below, there could be an opportunity there to get a bit of a discount, but you need to understand the actual costs of getting the property up to a lettable rating. So just a few little nuances there on the EPC.
Yes, that's a very important data point. Then you can see the average yield in this postcode based on the address that you put and the 5-year growth. So this is like the first information you can see that can help you understand what numbers you should put. The second thing is the estimation about the property value. And here again, based on the postcode, the property type, the construction date, actually construction period, the internal area in square meters, number of
sorry, I was just going to say again, Aviram, the square meterage or the square footage of a property is a really, really important data point, and it's how valuers value properties, and they certainly use it as part of their calculation. So when you're comparing deals, you really do need to be comparing like for like, and not, you know, a property that's got a completely different square footage or square meterage.
Absolutely. So it's very important data point that we extract it, so that you will see like the default, but of course, if it's not the accurate number, you can change it. Number of bedroom, number of bathrooms, the interior finish quality. Is it, you know, average or below average? Is it high, very high? It of course impact the value of the property. If there is an outdoor space, and if there is what kind of outdoor space.
Mm-hmm. And that's so important post-COVID as well. There's been a huge move towards tenants wanting properties with outside space. So that would be a garden and a house, or if you're looking at a flat, then that would be definitely looking for something with a balcony. So it's useful to think about that, because as we spoke with Henry earlier in the week, one of the things you must do is understand what your tenants want. You need to put yourself in their shoes and make sure that you provide a product that they actually want, because if you don't, then you're going to struggle to get tenants. So it's very, very important to understand who your tenant demographic is and the facilities that they want in their rental home.
Absolutely. And last thing is the outstreet parking spaces, if there are, and how many. And then you click estimate, and here we use our partner property data. We use their API to get the estimation. And then you can either use the number that you got, or you can change the number and use it on your analysis if you're not, you don't agree with this number, or if you have like any other indication, as you mentioned, from other platforms or from local agents.
And I would always on the side of caution with the valuation as well. It's better to be overcautious than over optimistic when you're analysing deals. And do bear in mind also, we have seen a kind of trend towards the latter part of 2021 into 22 of valuers downvaluing properties as well. And this is very important to be prepared for that, particularly if you're looking to recycle your cash after doing a refurbishment or development.
Absolutely. And the next thing is to understand and get some indication about the rent in this area. So the platform will keep the same values you put when you estimated the property value, and you can get the estimation what should, you know, like be the rent in this area for this kind of properties with these parameters. And you can use this for the analysis of this deal. Now, so this is like some important information about the property, but if you want to get more information about the postcode, you can go to the postcode information page.
And this is where the magic happens, because
Yes.
this is where you start to see all the different insights and data and intel appear before your eyes. These are the kind of things that you should be looking at when you are researching a property. It's not exhaustive, but it's a very good position to start from, to have a look at the information that's provided in the postcode information part of the deal analyzer.
Yes, absolutely. And one important thing to say about Landlord, so Landlord is a free platform. The core functionality is free, but we do have a premium plan with extra features. So we do allow like 3 searches for postcode per month for free. But if you want to do more, you're a more active investor, you need to upgrade to our premium plan that includes many other features as well. So it includes like linking your bank account or linking your accounting software, do unlimited tenant referencing for 5 properties and other things. So you can keep the free version and use 3 searches per month. And if you want more, you need to upgrade. So in this page, you just need to put the postcode, or if you analyze a deal on the deal analyzer, the platform will take the postcode automatically. And you can see some important information. So you can see the 5-year capital growth in this area. It's a breakdown by the year. And the average is what you saw here. So the average is 2.6. And this is basically the breakdown. You can see the current property demand in this area. So how many properties currently for sale, how many sales you have per month, and many other important details. Days on market is also important, and and also is it a buyer or a seller market? And this data also comes from Property Data API. You can get some analytics about the crime in this postcode, and you can also drill down into the specific type of the crime. Some data about the rental demand. Is it a landlord market or a tenants market? How many properties currently for rent in this postcode, etc. You mentioned the area. So here you can see the specific price per 1 square foot, and based on the percentage. And so it's like it depends on the percentile. You can see the averages and the range. So it depends on the postcode. This metric is like, you see, like it's very wide range. So I would definitely run the property value estimation that we showed in the previous screen on the deal analyzer itself. And then you can see some demographic analytics. So politics means like what was the distribution of the votes in the last election, the compute methods in this area. It's also very important to understand the different options.
Yeah, because just to jump in there, Aviram, you can see that the vast majority of people use the underground light railway in that area. So that would be a good indication that you would want to buy a property perhaps within 10 minutes walk of the nearest transport link of whatever nature is the most used. So you can see how this is helping you actually, I guess, narrow down the features of the property. And this is so useful because when you start out and you look at Rightmove, there's so much choice there. But most of the properties that you look at will not be suitable for your purposes. And understanding all of these different metrics will help you really, really drill down onto the few properties in the area that do actually make sense as a buy-to-let investment.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I love that age demographic. You can see there that you've got, a good, healthy percentage of young professionals, and they're going to be people that like to rent because of the flexibility of doing so. They may struggle to get onto the property ladder. We've had affordability issues late last year and into this year with first-time buyers. And whenever there's any uncertainty in the market, as there is with potential bank rate rises, tenants increase because they're uncertain about actually investing in their own home. So at the end of last year, actually, we had a huge shortage of rental stock. And I think that is going to continue into 2022, although I do believe it will stabilise. So landlords should have a lot of choice of quality tenants going through the year.
Yes. And the last metrics are like the schools, this area. You can see which schools are out there, and also some rating of the school and some other information, including the Ofsted report.
Mm-hmm. And that is useful for due diligence because you may want to rent to the family market. And typically, and speaking from my own experience, tenants in a family unit who rent, they tend to want to put down roots in an area. They tend to want to put their child through a good local school. And that means that you may have a tenancy that lasts between, say, 5 and 8 years. And to reduce your tenant turnover and your void periods over a long-term period like that, obviously is very, very helpful in terms of the efficiency and optimizing your property. So it's useful to know the good schools in the area and think about getting as close to that school as possible.
Yeah, and we're also different between state schools and independent schools in this area. So you can get both metrics. Mm-hmm. So as we look at this, it's very important to take a look on the postcode, and as like another important data points that can help you understand if you want to do this deal, or also what numbers you should put on the deal analyzer when you estimate a specific property.
Fantastic. I think this also highlights one of the other benefits of working with digital tools. We mentioned that a lot of this information is pulled in from partner APIs. And Aviram, those APIs are updated literally in real time. So this is up-to-date intel. It's not like a portal where it says, it's let agreed, and it was on the market like 4 months ago and it's still registered on Rightmove, because there's a lot of that goes on the portals. This is very current, up-to-date information brought in real time. And I'm sure everybody watching this can see the benefits of that.
Yes. So Landlord, so the entire month we speak about technology and the evolution in PropTech. And Landlord, we know that we can't do everything, so we connect to partners and integrate the platform to other softwares that can enrich the data and help our users to do better. So, for instance, in terms of API, the property data, and in mortgages, we have 27 Tech API to get the live feed of the current products that are out there. And so everything is integrated and embedded into the platform. Yeah,
and this goes back to our concept of running your landlord life from a dashboard. That's what we want to encourage everybody to do over the course of this content campaign. We really want to encourage you to live your landlord life in a digital format. And digitize as many aspects of it as you can. Not everything in landlord life can be digitized, but we're going to be exploring the main ones that can. And tomorrow, for the kind of finale of the first week, I'm going to be joined by special guest, landlord and developer Phil Stewardson, and we are going to be talking about getting your finance in place, because without finance in place, actually it's all a bit of a moot point. Aviram, it's a bit difficult sometimes, isn't it? It's which comes first, the chicken or the egg? You know, do you find the property and then get the finance, or do you line up the finance and then find the property? But I think it's really, really important before you embark on anything to do with investing in property that you do speak to a mortgage broker, just to get a general feel of the products that you have access to with your individual circumstances. We may be talking to people that are cash buyers, and if you're a cash buyer, then you're in a very, very strong position to move forward in property, particularly in 2022, I think. So any final words for today, Aviram?
Again, I think just like take advantage of the digital tools that are out there, like sign up to Landlord and check out the deal analyzer and the postcode information. You mentioned the finance, so we have a great mortgage search, mortgage simulation. So based on your data, you can see what finance is available for you. And you can also apply online. So I think it's just get started. Use this month content to understand, to learn more, and take advantage of the possibility to digitize your property business and grow it wisely.
Indeed, and we will be joining up with Aviram again next week to take a deeper dive into how to use Lendlord to raise finance for your property investments. So for now, though, thanks very much for joining me, Aviram. I think it's been a fantastic week so far, and I'm just so excited that we're creating this raft of content that's really going to help landlords you know, act more efficiently, have less hassle in their landlord life, make money, save money. I mean, there's so many advantages to having a digital outlook and working from a dashboard, as we're advocating throughout this month, and really hoping that landlords embrace this journey with us. And we're also going to be producing text or ebook accompaniment to this series as well, so that you will have a reference point to go back and see each of the different aspects of landlord life that you can actually digitize. So much to come over the rest of the month, but for now it's time to say goodbye to Aviram. I'll see you tomorrow, and you'll see Aviram next week as we move into the acquisition phase, and that's where we're going to be talking about financing a deal, the actual process of registering a property in your name on the land registry, and the kind of costs that you'll need to consider, and all this good stuff. So hope you're enjoying the series, and I'll see you next time.